Every year at Dynamis we make a Christmas video, but this year there seems to be so much turbulence in the world, so many unknowns. This year we're going to do a low-key Christmas video, and we're just going to talk about what Christmas means to us. And for me, what Christmas is really about is a time to stop and reflect.
And obviously spend time with friends and family where I may not have spent enough time during the course of the year. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to most.
You know, you might not see anyone for the whole year, and then it comes to Christmas and everyone's like, yeah, let's get together, let's go for drinks or meet up, get for dinner or whatever.
I suppose just spending a bit more quality time with my family that I don't really usually spend with them. And if I can, going back home to Ireland to see the extended family.
This Christmas will be special because it'll be the first Christmas as a married man, so fingers crossed.
We didn't really have any sort of cousins our age growing up, or even any sort of friends who celebrated anything that was close to anything that my family would celebrate, because they're Muslim, and Eid was essentially 4,000 miles away. So Christmas was something local, it was something doable for them, and it was their way of showing us a bit of extra love.
I think for me, Christmas is all about tradition. So every single year with my friends, I watch the film Love Actually, even though it's a terrible film. It's Christmas tradition, so we do it.
What is Christmas to you?
Food and family.
It's the one time that everyone's just really happy and just eating and drinking and just getting on, and it's great.
Like in Transylvania, a small town, we go caroling. So we gather around like a group of friends, and then we carol to each parent's house. So we take turns, so we do that all night. And they give you sweets, they give you food, and you have to eat, you have to drink. And you do that for every house.
My mum, we didn't have any money, so we had a Christmas stick. That was hilarious. So it was just a Christmas stick with just lights around it.
My best Christmas was when I think I was about 5. My parents were like proper broke that year, and my mum's oven broke just before Christmas. So on Christmas Day we ended up eating jam sandwiches, and then as my main present I got Connect 4, and it was awesome.
We always used to go to church the night before Christmas, and then afterwards it was always a tradition to go and get kebab. So you'd have your Christmas Eve kebab, and that would be on Christmas Eve, and then you got to open one gift.
Generally, a new board game will appear every year. It's my dad's forte to pick something out. Many a year we've had hours of instructions reading.
Obviously we have the community masquerade, so where people dress up in fancy clothes, and there's lots of traditional music and dance.
Oh, I'll tell you what has become a tradition already: chocolate in the morning. Yes. So obviously I think it's always been a thing for us, but just introducing her to it, and she's like, as soon as she wakes up the last 3 days, Mummy, I want chocolate.
Watch, very royalist, so watch the Queen at 3 o'clock.
Being from the Southern Hemisphere, it's also about barbecues and swimming and being outside. But when I was growing up, my mother would make a point of speaking to everybody she knew beforehand to make sure everybody had somewhere to go for Christmas or had family, and anybody who didn't was invited to our house. So I think I just remember Christmas as being filled with so many people. We would have Christmases of, 20 people just coming in and out of the house.
The pros is the fact that we can have this big neighborhood parties in the Southern Hemisphere. So we went to the rural area because my granddad wanted us to go to the village. All the luxuries, all the little things we associated with Christmas were not there, so they didn't have electricity. This was so different because you had drums being played, you had all these traditional instruments being played.
Basically, Christmas is the only time of the year I get to see my whole family, so I'm pretty excited of flying home and just being with my parents, siblings, uncles, cousins, just everyone. Like, we're like around 30 people who get together.
My dad is so middle class, he can't wait to eat, so at 1 o'clock on the dot on the day we have to sit down and have our meal.
I'm Bulgarian. One of our main traditions is to make this pastry, so put money in it and then write different labels, so for like health, well-being, things like that, and you divide it up evenly between however many people you are, and people take a pick of the slice, and whatever you get, it's what your luck's going to be basically for the year ahead of you.
There's a Polish tradition that on a Christmas Eve dinner table there should be 12 dishes, and so every Polish family would gather around their table, and each before getting down to dinner they'd be counting, is there 12 dishes? But if there isn't 12, there'd be like, okay, we have to come up with something quickly. They were like, okay, beer, that's a dish.
What's your favourite Christmas carol or song?
Era Rodolfo el reno, que tenía la nariz roja como la grana y de un brillo singular.
It would be 12 Days of Christmas if it was an English song, and in Polish it would be a very sad song which you don't want to hear.
It has to be Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I don't care about the presents
underneath the Christmas tree.
I don't need to hang.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.